Good morning, everybody. I would like to call to order the August 28th, 2024 regular meeting of the Monee Village Board of Trustees. If I could please invite Randy Roberts with Living Creek Church up for the invocation.
Thank you, Mayor. Let's pray. God and Father, I just want to thank you that you're a God of all authority. You command the angel armies of heaven. You're over the forces of evil in the heavenly realms. And you're over all the authorities, all the nations, and all the leaders of all the nations of all the world. And you're over states, and you're over counties, and you're over villages, and even us tonight in this meeting. And so we recognize your authority. And I thank you, Father, for your favor that has brought this village through 150 years, and I pray that there be even greater favor in the years to come. And God, I want to thank you that you give us things to do that go beyond ourselves, that we get to be involved in a community like this where we get to make decisions, we get to serve, we get to encourage one another, we get to cooperate, collaborate, and strategize for the greater good. And I just ask that would be the result tonight. And God, I want to thank you for those that are here tonight that have responsibilities, that they've taken up those tasks that are before them. And I ask for your favor upon everything that's done tonight. And a sign of that favor, I just ask that would be that maybe after this meeting, everybody says, boy, that just went better than we could have imagined because your hand was with them. I pray that a sign of you being with them tonight would be that there would be the unity of the Spirit and the bond of peace. I pray, Father, also that there would be a laying down of personal agendas and an elevation of what is for the greater good. I ask that maybe as a result of your favor upon us, there would be a reduction in crime and healing in families and less tragedies that befall some places in the world, but that it wouldn't be here because of your favor upon us. I also ask, Father, that there would be a spiritual revival because of your blessing upon this place, that we acknowledge you first. And you said if we seek you first, like we're doing in this meeting, that all the things we need would be added, that you'd be the God who provides, and that we would have no shortfall in any area for anything that we have our hands and called our hands to put ourselves to. And so, Father, where there needs to be creativity, I ask that you'd provide it. Where there needs to be patience, I ask that you'd provide that. Where there needs to be understanding and maybe a better plan or maybe a wait and see, I ask that you would grant wisdom and your providence on this meeting tonight, and that you'd be glorified in the outcome of all the decisions. We ask that in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Here.
Trustee Henson? Trustee Horn?
Here.
Trustee Rakes?
Present.
Trustee Wilson?
Present.
Trustee Udras?
Present.
Thank you. Open to the public, agenda items only.
My name is Richard Podbielski. I live at 25956 South Chestnut. I'm here actually as a result of a request for as-built request. I don't know if I speak now or I speak when that comes up on the list. I'm number one on the back side of the sheet.
We will take care of that, so we will call you up at that point in time, if
Okay,
that's
thank
okay?
you.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
thank you.
Very welcome. Okay, if I can have a motion to approve the consent agenda, please.
Make that motion, Mayor.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Rakes?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udras?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes. Anything for you? No? Okay, under my report, we have Amy Wilson with Farnsworth Group here for a presentation on the Fireman's Park, Open Space Land Acquisition Development, Phase 2, also known as OSLAD. So we've got the first one that's in the works, and we are striving to get that second one under our belt and keep this great work going. So Amy, if you would come on up and give your presentation, please.
Yeah. All right. Good evening, everybody. How are you today?
Good.
Okay. Actually, I might go this way so I can direct traffic on the screen. How about that? So I am here before you tonight. As the mayor mentioned, we had a successful OSLAD grant application in fiscal year 23 that awarded the village $600,000 towards Fireman's Park Phase 1 improvements on a $3.8 million budget. So that is underway, and we're hoping for completion in the spring of 25. So while we're on track with that, Diana, I was working with her to contact IDNR, and they said, since we are on track and we'll be 75 to 90% done by the end of that grant period, that we are going to be able to allow to submit for Phase 2. So we will be, again, I'm asking for you guys, for your approval tonight to submit that application in support of Phase 2. So in front of you, you can see on the screen, there is, in the blue area highlighted, those were items that were completed in spring of 24. Those were infrastructure improvements that included the parking lot and underground storm utilities, water service utilities, and sanitary in preparation for Phase 1. And then under construction right now is the shaded green area to be completed in spring of 25. So the remaining portion you can see is in the southwest corner of the property. That is including the splash pad. It's an extension of the parking facility, an additional picnic shelter, basketball court, sidewalk extension. There's a tennis court with pickleball on that. 4 pickleball courts actually on that. And then they'll extend a multi-use pathway that will run up north of the baseball diamond and come back down and connect into the multi-use trail that's currently being extended in Phase 1. Throughout that multi-use path in the back, there will be 5 fitness stations that will be scattered along that path, and then there will also be built a pedestrian connection to the neighborhood to the north for that. The areas that you can see hatched on either side of that path are areas for pollinator plantings, so like meadows, meadow grasses, native grasses, and forbs wildflowers. So not your traditional prairie that you think of, but more of a pollinator garden habitat, something a little more manicured in that area. If there is extra earthwork after that construction process, that's where we'll be able to shape some landforms and some berms in that area to give it a little bit of interest. So this is the exhibit. The original, let's see if I can go to the estimate. So the original cost that was planned for the overall Phase 1 and Phase 2 was just under $6.3 million for everything. So as I mentioned before, 3.8 for the first phase. This one is coming in updated with today's costs, construction costs, assuming construction is happening in 26. That will be $2,421,200. So that is the total budget. Again, that's not the actual construction cost. Once the OSLAD grant application is submitted and design is able to be started, so the process for that is the application deadline is actually September 13th of this fall. And once that's submitted, the award typically happens in April or May of the following year. So in April or May of 25, the village would find out if the grant was awarded, and then we'd be able to begin design for Phase 2. And at that time, when we move to construction documents, an actual opinion of probable construction cost, more accurate than this, will be narrowed down, and it will also allow for us the opportunity to tweak any of the recreational amenities, either the construction methods, the materials, things of that nature, to get to the budget that we need for that. The one thing that OSLAD does require is that the recreational amenities that you submit for as part of the application cannot be eliminated due to increased costs. So you can modify the type of amenity or the source of the amenity or the materials of the amenity or how you do it, but you still need to provide that ultimately that recreational amenity, just so everyone is aware of that.
So using those words, so.
Yes.
Concrete that, so maybe we don't have concrete, but We have rules. So that being said about like a game or something that, the splash pad, so yes, we still have to do a splash pad, but we can redesign it to fit into the budget.
Yes, absolutely. You got it. So with that budget number, $600,000 would be the award amount that we would be asking for. And so the village contribution would be $1,821,200. And that would be from construction of fall of '25 through spring of '26. So we try to get that done and completed prior to the end of the grant period, which actually ends in spring of '27. So should the village need to, the ultimate timeline can be determined, but it is a 24-month period for project execution. So tonight, part of the application process is that a resolution of authorization needs to be approved and made into an ordinance that essentially, if you're filing this application, you are stating that that you would be providing the matching funds. Should something change and you're looking to put no more than the exact match of the grant, so $600,000 to $600,000, the state just asks that you match that $600,000. Anything beyond that could be reduced, but again, we can't eliminate the actual amenities that we're proposing in the application.
You need a motion? I will make that motion.
Second.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Rakes?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udress?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Resolution number 2024-30.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next, what was that, J2? Next, I'm going to pull Larry's number 2, J2, out and put that under the administrator's report, so we'll be hopping to that one next.
Good evening, everyone. So J2 is a invoice submission from Farnsworth Group, and this is for the Public Works facility. This would be for pay period ending July 19th, 2024. All of the invoice has been reviewed by both Farnsworth Group, PBS, and village staff, and it's found to be in compliance with all work and materials that have been ordered and completed to this point. And that invoice is for $599,979.73. And this would be for pay request number 3. So I would be looking for a motion to approve this payment to PBS in the amount of $599,979.73.
Second.
Any discussion, board? Roll call, please.
Trustee Rakes?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udress?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Thank you, board. End of report.
Thank you. Moving on to the officials' reports, Public Works, Trustee Horn.
Good evening, everyone. I've got some great news and some updates for you that I'd like to go over for just a few moments. First of all, I'm happy to say, and this has been another long time in coming project, the Court Street Sidewalk project is complete. The restoration is complete. The barricades have been removed, and the sidewalk is open for pedestrian traffic. So I recommend that you take a walk test on that sidewalk. It's really good, nice and wide. And then if you notice, the restoration netting was put down, and all we needed to get the growth started was rain. And what did we have last night? Rain. So that's really good. So that's off and running. Now, another point of construction this summer has been the Main Street water main, and the underground work on this project is just about complete. And a cleanup crew is scheduled to be in Monee this Friday to begin cleaning the job site. And believe me, Ed and I have talked with the contractors about this. They are well aware of the events we have coming up. But this will include the removal of leftover materials, construction debris, sweeping of the street, and this will be followed by a paving crew, which is scheduled for next Tuesday. And they'll begin patching areas of asphalt that were removed for construction. So we're looking forward to that getting cleaned up in the next week. And then, today, I was out at the new DPW facility. Can you get the camera on that? I don't know. But it's not like TV, I guess. So the first piece of structural steel was put in place on the 19th and was erected. Building's beginning to take shape as the steel frame of the garage is nearly complete. And then the branch pickup is scheduled for Monday, September 2nd. So visit villagemonee.org for details. And that's the end of my report. Are you guys working on Labor Day?
No, that's going to be Tuesday, September 3rd.
Like I said, Tuesday, September 3rd.
Thank you. Moving on to Parks and Recreation, Trustee Gonzalez.
No report. I'm teasing.
I was like, what?
I'm teasing. So probably everything that, obviously the first part of what Parks and Rec has been working on all year is, of course, the restoration project and Fall Fest. So everybody will be receiving these gorgeous things. So obviously this year, logistical things have been changed, the things are moving around, but for our 150th, we have an incredible Fall Fest plan for you. So inside of this folder, this mailer, starting Thursday evening will be the moving wall, and the entire calendar of events are inside here, and the new layout of, not the new layout, this year's layout of the whole Fall Fest. So I encourage everybody to look for your, in the mailbox for these, and please come out and join. And yes, fireworks, and we have anywhere from 70s to 80s to country music, a seal show, and all sorts of things planned. So bear with us, and let's celebrate next week. End of report.
Thank you. Moving on to Finance, Trustee Rakis.
Thank you, Mayor. We would like to remind the residents that applications for the village's property tax rebate program are available at the village's website. Please visit the village's website to download the application for free, or stop by the village hall to pick up an application. Please help us get the word out by telling your neighbors. Applications are not being mailed out this year. The deadline for the property tax rebate is September 27th at 4 p.m. On August 5th, Governor Pritzker signed House Bill 3144 into law. The new law includes the elimination of a statewide grocery tax effective January 1st, 2026. The new law does enable local municipalities the ability to enact a local tax that will be distributed by the state. The first step in the process is to adopt an ordinance to ensure timely filing with the Illinois Department of Revenue. End of report.
Thank you. Moving on to Economic Development, Trustee Wilson.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. As Trustee Gonzalez said, this year the Fall Fest is going to be extraordinary. So I encourage everybody to come when you get your programs, when you get your newsletter, look through that, and to take a good glance over that and hang it on the refrigerator and remember it. We're going to have the moving wall, some call the traveling wall, in honor of Vietnam veterans. If you haven't ever experienced it, I highly recommend that you do come. It's a memorable experience to honor the fallen soldiers, so make it a point to come. For my report under Magnify Monee, we got Dollar Tree, Starbucks development, earth moving for this project, as we know, has begun. August 7th, the developer has completion targeted dates for November 7th to be completed for the Starbucks, of course, first, and then December 1st for the Dollar Tree. So if you would, Bill, just, we could see a little bit of the leveling that's been taking place in the developments.
Not leveling, but this is how
And
it
then-
will look.
Okay,
Yeah, sorry.
projected.
Yeah.
Awesome.
This isn't exactly what it's gonna look like, because they have so many different
Absolutely.
formats, but it'll be.
We're going to hold them to that. No, we want that,
I like it,
exactly.
so that's why I picked it.
It's awesome. So, who would have thought we would have had a Dunkin' Donuts and a Starbucks in our town, right, in our village?
Yeah.
Number 2, Monee Alliance Church's sign. Heidi Gonzalez has championed this for a long time. So the village worked with MAC to create and have built 2 12-foot, are they 12 foot? Yeah, 12 foot, yeah. Size signs naming our local churches. These are located at the east frontage area of New Hope Christian Community Church and the south end of Governor's Highway near Watson's Cutoff. So our Economic Development Director, Bill Barnes, will work with local landscaping company to complete the look around the bases of the signs with flowers and plants, and we'll add solar spotlights to illuminate at night. If you haven't already seen them, take a look. They're up, look good. So, do they meet your approval, Trustee Gonzalez? All right.
I think she said exceed.
Exceed? All right. That's what I'm talking about. So they look good, though, too. But once we get them landscaped and lit up, they're going to even look better. Thirdly, Lou's Farms. A therapeutic animal farm was featured last week about their cow cuddling services on WN television in a 3-minute segment. So hats off to Lou's Farms, who are doing great things over there. Fourthly, bids for the park honoring Marie LaFavre Bailey are due from interested contractors by 11 a.m. on Thursday, September 8th, at which points bids will be open. All information is located on the village website on the homepage. The project will be completed mid-November with the life-size statue installed in early spring. So stay tuned. Check out the website, Facebook page, Village of Monee, and see what's coming. A lot is happening this year, as you know, with the construction and also with the new developments and projects, Starbucks, Dollar Tree, all that good stuff, and more to come. As always, shop Monee when available. End of report, Mayor.
Thank you. Mr. Podleski, did you have a question, sir?
Yes.
That site where that construction is happening on the Monee,
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
We have rules.
I don't want to be poop anything, but that site on Monee, Manhattan, where the construction is occurring, all that fill that was brought in, I believe, was put on black dirt. So I don't know if anybody requested a soil report on the construction that's going on over there, and I'll get my nose out of that.
There was testing done.
Okay, Building Services and Public Safety, Trustee Udris.
Thank you, Mayor. First off, I wanted to say that I was pleasantly surprised the other morning driving to work, listening to WGN radio, when I heard WGN talking about the wall coming to Monee. That was awesome to hear. They said Monee about every other word, so boy, we got our name out there, and I was just so excited to hear that. For emergency management, the report from them is that they are busy getting ready for Fall Fest, making sure that they have everything in place for that and for the wall to keep us all moving, having a place to park, and staying safe. So, watch Facebook for any updates, for where to go for Fall Fest, but rest assured that between EMA and our police department, it's going to be a very safe event. From our police department, the State Training Board recently stopped in to check on Monee's training files and scheduling. We're happy to report that the Monee Police Department is up to date on all state mandated training and ahead of schedule in most areas. The board also sent an auditor to review an actual training scenario, and once again, we were rated very highly. Both auditors were very complimentary and mentioned that we're ahead of about 90% of our counterparts. Also, tell your friends and neighbors that several local traffic changes and detours will be in effect as we host the Moving Wall and Fall Fest, September 5th to the 9th. This includes the closing of Court Street from Middle Point to Will Center and making Egyptian Trail one-way southbound from Monee, Manhattan to Court Street. So check the village website and our Facebook page for the most current information. Also, be aware of the new ordinance that will be in effect for Fall Fest. Reminder, this requires kids 18 and under to be accompanied by a parent or guardian after 6 p.m. There's also an ordinance that prohibits the wearing of any mask that is non-medical and the wearing of hoods to conceal your identity from a police officer, and that will be enforced. And then if anybody would like some flyers on the moving wall or schedule of events, they are out in the hallway for anybody that would like them. And as always, if you see our police officers, I ask you to please wave, smile, say hi. Thank them for the job that they're doing because they're out there for us. End of report.
Thank you. Moving on to the attorney's report.
Thank you, Mayor. I have 2 items for the board's consideration. The first item, I believe this gentleman's here tonight to talk about the as-built request at 25956 South Chestnut. Take it away.
All right. I own the property at the address as said. I've owned it for almost 40 years now. I've lived there periodically raising my sons when I first got it, and subsequently I've rented. It's a 2-unit. There's a finished apartment on the 2nd floor with a separate entrance, and there's also a common entrance to the 1st floor, so it could be used as a related living or as a 2-unit or as a single family. I've had, well, I believe Lance is here. The village did a inspection already, and I'm going down the list and checking off the things that need to be done. And so my request, because I'm putting it up for sale now, I'm retired, and my wife and I are moving to Wisconsin. And so putting it up for sale, any buyer that's buying it in order to get a mortgage, they would need some kind of verification that if the property burned to the ground, it could be rebuilt in the same type of features that it is right now, a 2-unit. And I do have a 2-car garage in the backyard that over the years I've used that. I'm a retired appraiser, real estate appraiser. And so I used that as my own office 20 years ago. And subsequently, my wife is a writer, and she was using it for writing, and she requested that she have a bathroom in that facility, so I started to put that in. It's not finished, but it could be used as, if somebody's living in one of the units, they could use that as, I believe they could use that as a personal office.
Yes, it can be used as a personal office, but cannot be used as a residential building.
Right.
So like an outbuilding.
Yeah, which is fine. And so I'm marketing, my broker, real estate broker's here currently, Judy Kajewski, and she's marketing the property. She's put it up for sale. I put it up for sale about 2 weeks ago. Yes. And if anybody needs to see the listing sheet, I do have that. I have multiple copies of that if you want or not. So that's why I'm here.
Thank you, sir. So what this gentleman's asking is that we issue an as-built letter, which we've done before in the past, but we do need a motion approving an as-built letter.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
What, can I speak some more?
Sure.
One other thing is that property west of the railroad tracks, that's all zone commercial. And along Margaret Street, or Chestnut, along Chestnut, which is the frontage road on that side of the tracks, there's 9 2-units over there. And so all those people have to go through the same thing I am eventually. Is there any thought about, why don't you convert that section of land to a multi-unit zoning instead of commercial? That would eliminate the problem of everyone having to come in and do this over and over. And the reality of that ever becoming a McDonald's or a Dunkin' Donut or something is probably very remote because it's a residential area. And so I'm just throwing that out for your village's consideration.
What we might do, sir, is refer to P and Z for their review and consideration.
Okay.
But we
Yeah.
do have a vote on the floor for your approval.
Okay, thank you.
Very
Thank you
welcome.
for your time.
Thank you.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Rakis?
Yes.
Thank you, Mayor. The next item tonight is the proposed pre-annexation agreement between Chicago Title and Trust and the village. We have two gentlemen here tonight. Tomas, who is the owner of the property, and his attorney, is here to answer any questions the board may have. What we're looking to do, Tomas bought the property, which is 56 acres, which is directly across from Amazon. He is looking to build a nice project over there. He is looking for a PUD. And all we're doing tonight is just bringing up the subject. There's going to be no vote taken on it, but just bringing up the subject so the board's informed. What Tomas is asking to do is, as I indicated, set up a PUD for light industry, some warehousing, and some storage. He is also looking for a truck terminal, not your classic truck terminal. It's a terminal where he leases the truck spaces for independent truckers. I believe he's got a similar operation in Matson, which is extremely clean. It's off I-57, right off Ridgeland Avenue. Give you an idea, and I understand that it's in tip-top shape. But he wants to annex into the village. We're at the very preliminary stages. There's a lot of work to be done with respect to engineering, with respect to cost, with respect to roadway consideration, because remember, we did talk about extending a road from Monee, Manhattan, down the middle of that property, close to the new Northern project, Seafried. So there's a lot to be discussed, but we want to, just to introduce the concept to the board tonight. They have very good counsel. We are talking about a couple issues, about some remuneration back to the village for our costs with respect to potential roadway issues in the future. And I don't think they're opposed to it, but there's got to be a formula that's a win-win for us along with Tomas. He is quite anxious to proceed, but I thought it was important, as the mayor indicated, and Ruben at one of our meetings, to let the board know about this potential project. Again, if you look at his facility in Madison, it's extremely nice. It's not your typical, when you hear truck terminal, sometimes not the best connotation, but I don't think this is the case here. And he has other properties that eventually might come into Monee that would be very advantageous to the village going south. So, north, I'm sorry. So it's, we'll keep the board informed. I just want to introduce his counsel and Tomas and his attorney, Mr. Zalewski. I forgot your name again, I'm sorry.
Danius Dumbriez.
It's close enough. The other attorney's having kidney stone operation surgery tonight, so why don't you email him while he's in surgery, see what he says, okay?
Yeah, I will.
But we just want to keep the board informed. Nice project. He has already purchased the property. We will work on it, keep the board updated. This will be referred to the zoning board because Tomas is asking for certain variations, or variances, I should say, with respect to the parking stalls, which I know Jeff and Mr. Zalewski will talk about. There's got a couple other issues with Monee Manhattan Road. That's all from an engineering standpoint, but we might have further update at the next board meeting. I think the zoning board meets, third Wednesday of September. So they'll get this, they'll look at it, probably make a recommendation. Before it's fully annexed, though, we have to have a public hearing. You got to notify certain individuals. It's got to be published in the newspaper and posted. So we have some work to do, but it looks like it'd be a nice development for the village.
Yeah.
56 acres.
Where did you say the other property was located, in Madison somewhere?
It's off I-57 Ridgeland, probably south of where,
I can answer.
pardon me?
Yeah.
I developed a similar terminal in the Madison just about 5 years ago, and that's how I started looking, after finished that project, I started looking further developments, and I noticed the beautiful village of Monee, that there is available a lot of green areas, comparing, and usually when you're looking at the properties, you're looking at the green areas, and either it would be a forest preserves or developed. And when I was looking at across the highway on I-57 in University Park, you see everything is developed and finished, and there is no extra space left. And the reason I was looking at the Monee, because there is no utilities. At the time, right now it is at the Frankfurt, but I own now about 750 acres. From Ridgeland to Harlem, and from Stankill to West Trail, and 150 acres on a Stankill and Harlem northeast corner. Now I would like to bring that all the land to the village of Monee, because I feel it's a friendly village to be into. And then that's where I'm starting with the Monee Manhattan development, and just kind of introduce myself and go from there.
What's the address of your unit in Matson, your property in Matson?
15061, I'm sorry, 15. If you'd go out of,
Or just across streets?
yeah, we are between Valspar and Automall on the west side of the I-57. Just the transportation terminal, which was brought in about 2 years ago, was completed, and you will see we're putting all the green berms around the perimeters. There's about 700 arborvitae trees, which will grow about 15 feet tall.
Okay.
Right, and we had the similar discussions at the beginning with the Madison, that how the transportation terminals should look. Should look beautiful. Why it should be looking not beautiful if you can beautify it.
Yeah.
Just take care of it, be proud of what you're creating, and that's how it will look.
Any other questions?
So for this land that's here, it's storage and a truck terminal?
It will be pretty much a home for transportation business. Or if you would own your own transportation company, you would have your own unit, and you would have some trucks to park it and repair it. And most of those trucks would be traveling United States highways. And these trucks would come usually for the maintenance and repair. As you know, the trucks would leave for 2 or 3 weeks onto the road and just come back whenever your logbooks or your family needs you as a truck driver. And nowadays, truck drivers are making about $1,500 a week, also $100,000 a year. And we can bring all the mechanics and the drivers and all the business and salaries to the local families, where they could find a work from office people, mechanics, drivers, and as I see in the United States, just e-commerce, warehouses, and transportation got well paid, paying pretty good salaries to the families.
So that's what I'm asking, other than storage for a parking lot for trucks, what is it a building? Is it a warehouse?
Correct, yeah, we're building a warehouse without the storage behind it, so that every transportation company will have their own office in a space where they will be taking care of those trucks. And they will have enough trucks to park in the back.
So a warehouse for office space or a warehouse for?
A warehouse will have office space for the dispatchers and accountants and office people. They will have a repair shop in the back, as the building has in the front, all the office frontage, and repair facilities in the back, and also storage in a yard. That's why we're creating a multi-business facilities. If you can imagine your papa and mom shop, just a trucking facilities.
Thank you.
And what kind of traffic do you anticipate with this? Like, how many trucks, say, per day coming in and out at one time?
We had, with our, I also own my own transportation company, 150 trucks, and except all local drivers, we have, I would say, we should not speculate on that number. We could make traffic studies on that one.
Bill Zaleski, Thomas's engineer. We have not done a traffic study yet. We're just, like you mentioned, we're in the preliminary stages. So one of the things we're going to do is, he's got the facility in Matson, 5501 Adams, just east of Central. We'll use that as an example for our traffic engineer to do the counts and apply that to this phase 1 portion of the project. So, once again, we're the preliminary stages. We're talking to Will County DOT. We understand we have a dedication. We know there's big plans for the road, so we're planning for that also. So we'll be working with Will County, and I know the first thing they're going to ask for is a traffic study.
Right.
But Madison is like twice or 3 times bigger facility than we're putting.
So that was more so my question. I'm sorry. So this is just strictly a terminal. There isn't, so for the 56 acres, it's a terminal for just the trucking outfit. This isn't multiple businesses unless it's connected to trucking. Is that what I'm understanding?
I'll answer a question to you. Like we did the same thing in the Madison, and the way, like I said to Madison, the business brings business, and as you see, like as I would say, like for the 1,000 years, cornfields didn't brought much of the business, and when you bring the business, business comes in, and the whole vision of mine is like we're building a phase 1, and then when you have a business already established, it happened to similar to the Madison. We just we had a transportation terminal and we had a parking, and then we had excessive amount of land where right now Ironclad came in, other business came in, and they asked for us like also storage, but at the same time they signed up a 10 years lead where they're renting equipment. This total different business from the trucking, but we were able to attract to that side of the highway a different type of a business, as like a Madison had like a, they had a mall demolished, they lost lots of tax revenues. And when I came into the meeting, I really discussed with the board and everybody else, you will never return the mall. Economics is changing in the world, and you have to adjust it. E-commerce will bring the goods into your doorsteps. You will not have to go to the store, to the mall anymore. That's why you do need it. Trucks will have to deliver those goods, and every time life changes, and you have to adjust to that. They listened. Amazon came in to one of the biggest warehouses they brought in. We built up the west side of the highway, and still the east side of the highway is not looking well. But the west side of the highway looks well just because they changed the vision and they allowed the business to come in. And that's really what I'm asking, to allow the business to come in, another business. This business will bring another business. That's what I'm looking for.
I understand. I was just trying to get the bigger picture of what else you were looking to do there.
As the Carl Street will expand, then the business will, right now we're asking after the 56 acres just a phase 1 development, and then PUD request we'll see what the interest will bring in at that moment as the house will expand and bridges and all that stuff.
It should be mentioned, too, this project does conform with our comprehensive plan. So this, Thomas's project would conform with our plans for the future.
And that would be all IDOT related, anything for the streets?
Well, when I say comprehensive plan, I mean purpose of that property, but I know Jeff and Bill will be working on, again, Monee Manhattan Road, some variances, so he's got a ways to go on this thing.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Larry.
You're welcome. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
That's all I have, Mayor.
Great, thank you. Any unfinished business, anybody? Any new business? Open to the public, non-agenda items. Executive session. Number 1, 5 ILCS 120/2C5, the purchase or lease of real property for the use of the public body, including meetings held for the purpose of discussing whether a particular parcel should be acquired. PIN number 21142140370000, 2114211060040000, and 2114223000400000. Item number 2, 5 ILCS 5 120/2C1, appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of a specific employee. If I may please have a motion to close regular session.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Rakis?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Thank you. All right, if I can please have a motion to reopen regular session.
Make that motion.
Make that motion.
Roll call, please.
Trust-
Second. Wait.
I'll second.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Rakis?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
8:01.
Thank you. Possible action to be taken after executive session, item 2, possible appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of a specific employee. May I please have a motion to pay 100% of sick pay for our building services director?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Rakis?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Horn, yes.
Trustee Horn, yes.
Yes, me too.
Oh, sorry. Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Okay.
Item number 2, if I can please have a motion to pay 100% of sick time to our most recent departed DPW worker.
Make that motion.
Second.
sounded really bad.
Okay, our previously employed DPW.
Okay.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Rakis?
Yes.
Last item, may I please have a motion to appoint Lance Beckbar, interim building services director, with an approximate 9% increase in salary?
Make that motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Rakis?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Thank you, board. May I please have a motion to adjourn?
Make that motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Rakis?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.